Brazil top the group and are through to the knockout stages. They are joined by Morocco. A question mark still leans over Scotland, though, and whether or not they will advance as one of the best third-place finishers. Craig Burley, Stevie Nicol alongside me to reflect on what we saw in those final games in Group C. We'll start with Brazil against Scotland. We'll talk about the Scots in a moment, boys. But for Brazil, just cruising, really, isn't it? Yeah, it's just kind of nicely flowing.
The only game they really had was the Morocco game, where it was, 50-50 really. In fact, Brazil struggled early on. The Haiti game and then the Scotland game was just a walk in the park, really. But that's the standard where Scotland are.
Yep.
And, what you can't do when you play a team that's much better than you just can't make basic mistakes. If they're going to score a goal, it has to be something special.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
The opening goal obviously was just a complete gift.
Somebody's got to put one in the top corner, or it's got to be a fantastic bit of skill. McKenna has just a horrible touch for the first goal, and Vinicius Jr pounced on it. They're not very good at trying to do what they were doing, which is play out from the back.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
What have you made of Brazil so far, Stevie?
I think it's very difficult to really nail down what they're all about. The Morocco game was disappointing, but it was the first game, and they didn't get beat. You obviously expect them to beat Haiti and Scotland, which they've done comfortably. So I think it's very difficult to judge them. I would say that I see Brazil as I did before a ball was kicked. I think questionably they have problems in the middle of the park. I'm not sure Paquetá and Casemiro are the answer against better sides. But yeah, they can only beat who's in front of them today. They deserve to beat Scotland. Probably should have been more. But as Craig said, it was helped along by basically giving them a start.
And you looked at when Neymar came on, there was a lot of excitement in the crowd, and I'm sure back in Brazil about this iconic player being in the squad and eventually coming on. But boy, I think if you're João Pedro or one or two others that didn't make the squad, and you're looking at that guy saying this is just a sentimental pick, because I know he's not had much game time, but he just looked so sluggish and off the pace and as if it passed him by. So, if you have to go to him in the latter stages of the tournament, that's going to be the big question, is can he come on, can he actually come on and influence a game against better players? Which, he even struggled when he came on against the Scotland team. So, that for me, I know Thiago's there, I know Cunha can play up front, I know Hendrick's there, but these are inexperienced players at that level, and I think the one thing you're going to have to do in this tournament, if you're going to go all the way, is go to your bench for game changers. And it looks to me as if that was nothing more than just a sentimental pick putting him in.
Talking about Vinícius Júnior for a moment, Steve. He's scoring again. He scored in every group stage match so far. First one, as we say, was a gift. The second one, good header at the far post. Looks lively, started with confidence. And again, Carlo Ancelotti getting the best out of him. Certainly when you compare what he was like before Ancelotti and now with him.
Well, there's only one thing we've all been saying is Vinny doesn't defend. But the first goal, absolutely, he closes the ball down and he starts defending from the front. So he's kind of rubbed it in our face today because he was the one that's initiated it. He's the one that's gone and closed down. The one thing that we say he doesn't do and hasn't done. And I guess on the face of it, you have to say it's the Ancelotti factor.
Yeah.
Well, he's the talisman now, isn't he?
He is the focal point.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy back in Brazil that if it goes wrong, he's going to get the most.
100%.
So it's kind of it's moved around from player to player, and the last one was Neymar. Now it's Vinicius Jr. And I mean, this is his platform to go and show. And he loves it, doesn't he?
Absolutely. I suppose
it's where he thrives.
If you're going to be a star, this is where you're going to shine.
And again, Stevie said, look, it's a bit. There's a bunch of teams in this tournament that we're all talking about. They're going to go a long way, but we really don't know much about them, or as much as we should do, because of the teams they've played against.
Yes.
So I heard Ian Dart, our colleague, was on the commentary talking about the job Ancelotti's doing. Well, we'll find out when it gets to the better games. They're strong at the back in terms of the two centre halves. I think the full-backs you can get at them, and Stevie said the midfield is a little bit lacking in legs, but that might be substituted elsewhere for, depending how... Is Rafinha going to be back at some point? We're expecting...
Yeah, maybe.
So, yeah, I mean, they're going to be good going forward, but you can definitely play against them.
Talk to me about Scotland.
Listen, if you'd said to me before the tournament, what are they going to look like? Paint a picture. I'd have said, this is it.
Right.
Struggled against Haiti, not a surprise. I know people will say, well, no, not a surprise. And Haiti showed against Morocco, which we'll get to a little bit, how competitive they are. Struggled against Haiti, but won through a deflected McGinn goal, and then had to defend. We're never really competitive against Morocco until they started chucking a couple of balls in at the end, and we're completely outclassed by a kind of mediocre Brazil side, if we're being honest. And
what will the fallout be like in Scotland? Will they accept the fact, look, these players just aren't good enough?
I've seen what the fallout is, right? And we can debate this. I'm kind of in the middle, a bit of a hybrid of the criticism. The fallout is we don't have the best players, but we have better players than just try to sit in and do what we're doing. I think that's where the fallout is, that Steve Clarke, they're saying back in Scotland, is too archaic in the way he approaches it. I'm kind of a little bit in the middle. I don't think we can outplay teams, certainly not Brazil, right? I don't think we can outplay most teams, but maybe we can have a little bit more. So I'm a little bit in the middle here. And I think the big criticism will be that he's way too defensive with his approach. Whether we agree or not, that's what they're going to hammer him for. They hammered him for it after the Norway game, and they're probably going to continue with it after this game.
Well, I haven't changed one single thought in my head that I had after the Morocco game. And at the end of the day, we cannot play out from the back. We do not have the players to play out from the back. And regardless of where McTominay plays and McGinn plays in the Premier League, we don't have players good enough in the middle of the park to control a game by passing around teams either. And up front, we don't have recognised bona fide top-class forwards. So we have to look at the big picture. And I said this before, Scotland as a whole are not a great side. They get by on determination, desire, organisation, all of those things. It's not about playing silky football out from the back, because they can't do it. And it's certainly not about controlling games in the middle of the park, as I said, by outpassing and outplaying the opposition, regardless of who it is, whether it's Brazil or whether it's Haiti. And so, unfortunately for Steve Clarke, the press and a lot of punters will not be realistic and will have a problem with not getting through the group, and as Craig said, the way they played. But I don't believe they have any other choice than to play the way they have been playing, because if they open up and be expansive and try and play, they can't do it.
Now, it's a weird world for Scotland, because if we just remind you what the group looks like, at the moment, is it Scotland 6th or 5th? I think 6th at the moment.
Of 8.
6th of the top 8, so 6th of 12, so if you like. But still, obviously, those teams still have matches to play.
They haven't got...
10 other teams still have to play.
The top 3 or 4 are probably going to be all right,
yes,
of that 8.
Yeah, with 4 points.
I don't... Look, I have no problem with Scotland going out, or any of the team that is down there, because, I'm sorry, I know this is the way that the bracket works with the 48 teams, but we're just rewarding complete mediocrity here. And they don't really deserve to go through, if we're being honest. And I don't think they will, barring getting lucky. And in fact, if they do go through, I think it's just going to continue the sort of embarrassment of looking like what Scotland are. And it's kind of second rate, isn't it? They just don't have the players that... They got a couple, but they just don't have the players of yesteryear. And I'm not talking about the team I played in, although it had some very good players. The team Stevie played in had world-class players. Guys at the back like Hansen and others who couldn't even get a game at times for different reasons, but could pass the ball for fun with anybody. They just don't have that. And I don't know. If they go through, fine, but there should be no celebration of this is the first ever Scotland team to qualify for the group stage, because it's just really by default.
Right.
But they might do. but they haven't got much leeway because they're 6 of 8. And I think the likelihood is they probably get knocked out.
If you take Scotland's name away, take the name away. Just the quality that group of players has, whether it's Scotland or anybody else, shouldn't be going forward in a World Cup.
Okay.
You know, a World Cup is supposed to be the elite. It's. You ask Frank Leboeuf, it's the medal that every single player wants to win more than any other, regardless of what country you play in. And it's being devalued when there are certain teams who are going to be going through who just don't deserve to be there.
Looking at it, it might be Mexico, if indeed they do.
In the Azteca. Well, not a great side, but they're better than Scotland.
Right, yeah. That's.
I mean, I think supporters are just hanging their hat on the hope that they're going to spend a bit more time maybe travelling and enjoying themselves.
Sure.
And having fun, which they've had. But the truth be known, they're not watching a great product. We're not watching a great product. I saw a quote a few minutes ago before we came on air from somebody in Scotland, one of the Scottish journalists, saying they don't deserve to go through.
Right.
They're one of the worst teams to watch in the competition, which they are.
Is it a case of whoever they face, if they go through, they will be very much the underdogs?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Mexico, you're not sitting here going, oh, I hope we get them or I hope we get them. Mexico knows that they're going to get a team who are, they're going to be way superior to. So again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter the name on the country. Whoever goes through, whoever they're going to get is going to be the 6th or 7th, 3rd place, scraping through because they're not a very good team, regardless of what they're called. And so Mexico shouldn't be worried who they get because it's going to be an inferior side.